Hello and good morning. How's it going, everyone, this weekend? Hope all is well. Let me tighten this mic. There we go. Better? Yeah, hope all is well. I'm about to do some security labs. It is day 448 of my personal CCIE journey towards getting that number and routing and switching. And I hope your weekend's going well. We are working on this morning INE rack. My first time working on this, so should be very interesting. I have now. Let's see, just a minute to a word on a vlog here, vlog item. So INE rack rental. When I purchased, basically what I did is when I purchased, and I've gone over this in a materials video on how to get your passive CCI written. I have a materials video where I discuss my package deal with INE, which included the ability to download videos. So it's more expensive in the short term than just doing the all access pass. The all access pass, as I understand, does not give you access to download videos. I've downloaded, let's see, I used to have a link here until recently. But yeah, I have a link here. I actually have all of the videos. They're not on my hard drive, but they are now synced with sync.com. So I have copies of them in the cloud that I can download at any time. But yeah, it also came with, I think the deal came with 1,700 rack rental tokens, and then I had a bonus of 1,800 rack rental tokens. So my plan at the time was, well, I can use the rack rentals for very large labs or any other labs where I'm having issues with certain features using my labs or using Viral. That was when I started out, or more than 448 days ago, actually. However, today I'm going to try for the first time using 5 of my rack rental tokens. The way this works is, depending on the lab setup you select when you book the lab or when you schedule. Cool, and it says INE rack rental session starting. So let's go ahead and try to yeah, I just looked at my email. That's why I got distracted there for a second. They send you an email when your rack is ready. So they have really good docs here, by the way. So I think I just go to my account here. Rack rentals. Yep, we're already up for 5 minutes. So go to my control panel. All right, let's see if we can get connected here. Cool. Well, that's one way to connect, and that, I think if you telnet into that RS5, yeah, so I'm now connected. So I can do 1, telnet to router 1. Yeah, so this is using a console server, which I'm very familiar with. So Control Shift 6X to disconnect. I think. This could be because I'm connecting on a Mac. It's not recognizing what I would normally use to send this key sequence. Huh. So now I'm connected to router 1. Let's go to my, if I look here though, I can actually connect by clicking, I think, on one of these devices. So, Jerry, you may request a configure below. This takes about four minutes. That's cool. But yeah, I like it so far, what I've seen. The reason I'm doing this today on Ini Rack Rental, one is to get familiar with it, and the other is because I had issues with the switches, the switch image for viral in my lab. So I'm going to go back to some of those labs and attempt to see if those work there. So that's what's going on right now. Right now, though, by the way, just to let everyone know, I'm about to do a lab on ICMP message rate. So I'm working out of the INE CCIE routing switching v5 workbook. These are not my labs, so I don't share the workbook on screen. Standard disclaimer here, folks. You know, if you want to do these labs yourself, definitely go to INE.com. You can access our resources and purchase a copy of the workbook that I'm working out of. So again, I don't show the contents of the labs on screen. I don't show the screenshots, explanations, etc. But yeah, what we're working on this morning is I got 4 labs left, and I hope to finish these by noon if possible. If not, it's fine. Controlling the ICMP messages rate. It's funny because as I rent the INE rack, I get to the security features that utilize routers, and I don't need the switches, but that's okay. Let me see actually if any of these use the switches, because we may jump to those. No, that's a router. There's 4 left. That's router, and this is going to be a router. All right, so you know what? Since we are using the switches today, I'm going to go back to one of the labs that did not work for me using the image. Okay, this is going to be, we're going to change this then. We're going to do catalyst ingress access list. And the requirements here are configure switch 2 with 160.1.30.2 on FA023. Switch 3, 30.3. Oh, let's get some music going too, because we'll be here a couple hours. So let me know if this is too loud. Yeah, it's not too loud. That should be good, I would think. But yeah, we're gonna do, so that needs to be on switch 3, and that is on FA023. Also, and then on switch 1, we're going to do switch port mode access on those ports. And we want to configure switch 3 to only send ARP and ICMP packets out its VLAN 30 connection. Interesting. So we're going to block switch 2. We're going to allow switch 3. All right, I think what this is, and I'm going to try to figure out some of this without looking at too much of it here. So let's bring this screen over. Yeah, I need to figure out how to send break. That's okay. I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to use the, we'll try to use this interface. I don't like how it does that. So I don't need the space over here, but it's going to force me to... Yeah, I don't like that. Is that a browser thing? Let's see how it looks in Chrome. All right, so let me do a new, keep a few notes over here. No, it's kind of a gross interface there. Oh yeah, that's kind of gross. Is there a way to make this... The frame, the iframe here is triggering me a little bit. Come on, guys. All right, so let's try to connect to, first of all, switch 2. Oh yeah, this framing is... Can I do a different window here? I can. Okay, this might work. Can I make that larger? I can. Good. And what are these buttons over here? New terminal, terminal application panel. Ah, cool. Okay, monitor for... Oh, nice. Okay. I do like this. Sweet. Okay, so let's move this out. Let's open up the other terminals here then. Switch... Wait, which switch is that? You need to get out of here. Thank you. Switch 2, so let's open Telnet to switch 1. This is curious. And switch 3. It's getting in the way. All right. All right, so let's go back to the Rex here. Put those down here, and I think we're finally working, functional. I don't like that noise. Don't like the bell. Don't need a bell. No switch port. IP address 160.1.30.3. Yeah, what I found yesterday when I did this lab is that the security was configured correctly, but it didn't allow the pings, or whatever protocol it is that they're asking me to configure here. Okay, and then over here on switch 1, interface range, well, I don't know my topology here because these are different. Okay, okay, it did say FA019, so that is on me. Let's see, show startup. Config, begin, interface. Oh, that's okay. Won't worry about that. Let's default. Oh, that bell is going to get annoying. No, we can't. No. What is convenience plugin? Yes, please. No, I don't need to select a different sound for the bell. Thank you very much. That's hilarious. Okay. By the way, I need to set up my little timer here for healthy posture. That timer reminds me when to... Okay, we've got a little frozen terminal here already. What is... not sure what's happening there. Why is my terminal frozen? This is not good. I've only been in here like 10 minutes. Okay. Lost my terminal already. How long have we been doing this? Oh, okay. Great. Awesome. Lost switch 2. Still have switch 1. Okay, so busy device. Excuse me. Sorry. Very sorry about that. Taking a while to clear connections. Okay, we got switch 3 back. Jeez Louise. All right, so switch 3, let's see. Default interface J0, no, FA, excuse me. I'm dealing with fast Ethernet interfaces now. And interface FA019. No switch port, IP address. There we go. Now I should be able to ping 160. Well, not yet. No, I should be able to. 160.1.30.2. Oh, maybe I haven't done this side yet. That's right. Interface range FA0 19, FA0 23. Switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 30. Show run interface FA0 19. Okay, interface are shut down. I understand that for a router, but not for a switch. Was this 19? Yeah. And the pop-up is blocked. We didn't block any other pop-ups until now, for some reason. But just now we thought, you know, let's block this pop-up. Computers, man. What's wrong with computers these days? And I've already lost switch 1. I don't want to have to resort to using... Jeez Louise. Fortunately, I do have Telnet. But this is a wonky. Look, this thing is already locked up. Okay, yeah, we're like wasting a lot of time. And I've lost switch 2. So this terminal interface is essentially, and I've lost switch 3, useless for me. Completely useless. All right, we're gonna try to telnet with the console router. And if this doesn't work, then we're just... All right, let's see if I can connect to something and then disconnect. It's not taking my break sequence, so I'm pretty much screwed here. Great. So we can't really use this from the Mac, it looks like. How many network engineers would use a Mac? I mean, you know, why would we want it to work in that case? All right, let me look at common problems. No, I don't want to fill out a form to contact you. I don't need your office address right now. Now, before, it was real easy to find the screen to get help. They have a nice... And now I cannot seem to find it. There's the rack rental guide. Okay, jeez. All right, using the Telnet client. You cannot break back to the rack main menu after you've made the Telnet to your rack router switch. For each device, you must make an additional Telnet session to the RSV5 gateway. Okay, that's fair enough. I can work with that. So let's do another session here. That is way too big. We gotta fix that. Okay, so we will be able to use the thank goodness. All right. And we need to change our preferences here because this is like huge. And 12. Well, it should be easy to see on screen though. I don't have any more time to waste on like just like the little small annoying details. We'll just keep going with all right. That is like way down on the screen though. Jeez Louise. Okay. Okay, now we'll finally maybe have some peace. Ping 160.1.30.2. Good. All right. Hey, ping works in the rack rental labs. You know, We must celebrate small victories here. All right, let's line these up so that we don't get triggered on trying to figure out which device we're on here. Okay. So 30 minutes in, and we can ping. That's all. All right, so getting back to the business of the lab here. Switch 1, okay, switch 3 to only send ARP and ICMP packets out its VLAN 30 connection. All right, this did not work for me with the switch image because I could not select ARP in a MAC address list. Let's see if we can do that here. MAC access list extended. Switch 3, allow, permit any oh yeah, we have more options here than on viral image. Here I can actually add an arbitrary ether type in decimal or hex. I can use a COS value, which is nice. Because basically on the viral image, you don't get this, and you don't get this, so you're essentially like screwed. I believe ARP is, and I don't remember, so I'm going to check, and I now know where to go. Cisco iOS, actually full menu. No, we don't need full menu. Yes, we do. This is in wireless. 1140 series access points. Configuration guide. Pick any software configuration guide, basically. Protocol filters. You can see I've been here before. OX0806. So we're going to do all right. An arbitrary ether type in decimal or hex. So what I'm telling it is that I want to use hex. Oh, the mask. So this is the ether type, and then I have to do the mask, which is 0. Yeah, I believe that's right. We'll see. Okay, so that should allow ARP. Then we want to allow ICMP, so that will be IP access list extended. SW3 ICMP. Permit ICMP any. Now, am I supposed to do this on switch 3? Yes, because Very important. On a switch, on a catalyst, you can only use ingress access list. So we have to apply this on switch 1 if we want to block anything. So we're going to apply this to now, do we apply this to the interface or to the SBI? I believe to the SBI. Well, we don't have an SBI on switch 1. But that's okay, because that's an access mode port. So I'm going to say interface FA019 MAC access group SW3 allow in IP access group SW3 allow, no, SW3 ICMP in. All right, now let's see. So switch 3 should still be able to ping, which it can. And it should still be able to ARP. So let's clear IP ARP, clear ARP, show ARP. So it either didn't clear it or it has aged it out and re-ARPed. That's what I'm going to assume. Yeah. All right, now let's try to telnet. Interesting that we don't get hits on this. Yeah, it's unable to connect. All right, how do I break if I'm not allowed to break? Yeah, remote host not responding. Let's take it off. And for this case, we only need to take out the IP access list. Interface FA019, no IP access group, SW3 ICMP in. Yeah. Oh boy. Hey, it lets me disconnect. Nice. Okay, so I think that does it. Let's check the answer key, and I'm pretty sure I'm right because I looked at this yesterday. Interesting. So what it says, and I'm going to do a flashcard for this. Uh-oh. Route processor 0, committed memory value 100% exceeded, warning level 90%. Interesting. I'm not even doing anything with you, router 1. So why do you care? Go away. We'll deal with you later. Cool. So the we need a flashcard because the command for yeah, all I did yesterday was, well, no, I reviewed flashcards, but I added a bunch. Specify a, let's see. MAC access list ether type and mask, or ARP. Let's say MAC access list. This worked. My mask worked. I just put 0, which is a good guess. But really what we want to do interesting. You can do show IP access list, right? You cannot do show MAC access list. Yeah, that's a little you can do show access list. Wow, we found an inconsistency. How unusual at the parser, right? Not. All right, so notice that it did change it, even though I put 0. I wouldn't even know. I guess I could figure it out, but I wouldn't even know how to. I guess it works the same as an IP wildcard mask. But what we're going to do is going to say MAC access list. Permit any 080806. Okay. No, I clicked here. At least I thought I did. Security. And we're going to add. Cool. All right, let's go back to another lab that we played with that did not work. All right, that's my little buzzer saying get up, walk around for a sec, and stretch. So when I do that, I will be right back. When I get back, we will do, let's see, what do we want to do? Something else that did not work. Controlling terminal line access. I don't think I want to mess with that because it's saying, the instructions are saying it might break. Okay, dynamic ARP inspection. We'll try that one. I will be right back, folks. Stay right where you are here this fine Sunday morning. Grab a little extra coffee, which is what I'm going to do. And we shall see you back in just a second. All right, and we're back. So that was a success. 45 minutes in. A very successful venture here so far. The Telnet thing worked out. For a minute there, I thought this was going to be a waste of time, but it turned out that we're working. We're on real switches, just like back in the day, and these features are actually working. So the next lab we're going to do is one I did yesterday, dynamic art inspection. So our requirements are going to be S1. Let's reload the lab. Let's see how this feature works. Well, we just want to reload reset config. Okay. And our select configuration is security initial. So you may request config to be loaded on your rack. Okay, yeah, let's see what happens with just resetting the config here. Wonder if we'll be able to see anything happen from the console. Should be interesting. Switch 1, switch 2, and switch 2. I don't think we need to do anything with 160.1.20.x on v20. We just need to change the IP IS. So it did reset this connection. Let's say 11. Line in use. All right, that's cool. Well, we're trying to hack there a little bit. That's fine. On a side note, I don't know if any of you saw yesterday. I'm a huge fan of... Oh, that's cool. You get the traditional... I'm a huge fan of Deadwood. And yesterday, they, after actually 13 years since the show ended, they released a movie. I think they released it Friday night. The Deadwood movie. And man, it was so good. A lot of people were critical of the Game of Thrones season or series finale. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly thought it. I thought it was awesome. But a lot of critics are saying that wow, the Deadwood writer David Milch, a brilliant writer. That they did such a good job on the movie to sort of wrap things up, and on its own stood on its own with it for its plot and dialogue. But man, I was just, and it was weird after you watch like a really good series or movie or something, you kind of still need a catharsis. So I was reading on Twitter like all the comments, and it felt good, man. I'd started watching that show during a pretty difficult time in my personal life, and it was very satisfying in a way to see it end the way it did. I'm going to change this up. We're going to do like 25-minute increments here. This is a great tool, by the way. I never want to go longer than... This is a great tool. If you're trying to take care of your back safety or neck safety, posture in general, or for work Pomodoros. So I use it for both work Pomodoros and posture. Anyway, switch tree, we're going to say interface FA0. And I'm not used to this layout. Now, I hope when it says default, I hope that means default of this configuration, security initial. It's okay if it doesn't. I want this to like go. That's a status. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That works. So I want FA019. Now this is interesting. It says here, I think what this means is that both interfaces are connected. So obviously it does. We learned in the last lab. So we're going to say here instead IP address. This is now blocking our work notepad here. 160.1.20.3. And we will switch to, let's see if this works now. Oh, not yet. Or did I just gloss over that message? Line is in use. Oh, and then I can disconnect. Okay, I do kind of like that. Okay, it's still... You requested config-related operation is being worked on by automation. All right. I get that. I respect it. Interface FA023, IP address 20.2. Configure IP, okay. And then on switch 1, whenever we have access, we're going to configure these on VLAN 20. Without configuring trust ports, so on switch 1, interface range FA019. Why did I type 18? What I meant 19. FA019, FA023. Switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 20. Interface VLAN 20, IP address 6.1.20.1. No shut. And we're in. Interface range FA019, FA023, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 20. All right, let's make sure we have basic ping 6.1.20.2. The interfaces are probably shut down. Yep. Okay, good. So now we're up. And we want to make sure so ARP works here and ping, good. So now switch 1 will prevent ARP poisoning. All right, enforce ARP security for switch 2 and switch 3. log ARP packets permitted. Log all packets matched against DHCP snooping database. Store 16 entries in ARP logging buffer. Enable all additional sanity checks on ARP packets. So this is DAI, Dynamic ARP Inspection. And we're not going to trust any ports, but what we want to do is, I think you have to have DHCP snooping on. This was the issue I had, is I was able to get DAI working. FA020. Oh, you know what? I'll bet the switch did not load security initial. Yep, that's a problem. Darn it. Is there a way to tell it to do that? I don't think there is. I don't really need to do this, but I just wanted to... All right, we're going to ignore that because that's a waste of time. We know what has happened. Troubling, folks. What we can do is... and now I have to do this again. Show dir flash. Well, it's got like everybody's junk on here, I think. Wow. Must be hard to run a lab. We've got Terra.dat. Terra. Non-standard name. Curtis.dat. I was just looking to see if there was a security, and maybe not, so doggone it. That is kind of a pain. So what it's saying here is let me look in the support. What's it at? Cisco default configuration. So they don't really have a good way of putting your configuration back on the switch. See, problem is I have so I have the config files here, but I've changed the interfaces to match. Let's just download them again. This is a little annoying, but it wouldn't be a routing lab if there weren't some annoyances, right? So I'm going to try to grab the configs. There we go. They're downloading. All right, so this will be... This will be how it is in their lab. I hope. Okay, there we go. One more time wasted here. Okay, now we'll put this... Doggone it, I erased this. Okay, so now they should be able to ping each other. Once the switch comes back from vacation. There we go. Okay, where were we? Okay, so we know with DAI that we're going to need DHCP snooping. Yeah, we need to figure out... Let's make these windows smaller. And let's say IP DHCP snooping. IP DHCP... Log all packets matched against... Okay. So we're just going to turn on DHCP snooping. That's it. VLAN 20. Because I think it's asking us to... it's implied by that requirement that DHCP snooping is on. And that we would log any packets matched against it. But we're not going to be using DHCP snooping here. We're going to be using static entries, which is called the device tracking database. So we need to create static ARP entries. So that will be IP IP ARP inspection. Filter. No, we need a static entry. IP ARP. All right, we're not going to ARP access list. That's right. ARP access list. This is going to be v20. And we're going to permit IP 160.1.20.2. Or why don't we do host? Permit IP host. And MAC is going to be that's highly inconvenient. Show IP ARP. There we go. And this is going to be 0.0.0. What does it say about log or permitted log? We're going to permit IP host 160.1.20.3 MAC. Which is this. And then we're going to say IP ARP inspection. Validate. We want to validate the source MAC, dest MAC, and IP. Do you want any exceptions? I thought there were some exceptions in this. Okay, not at this junction. And then IP ARP inspection. Filter. And what is the name? I'll put these names in, I can never remember them. B20. VLAN 20. VARP inspection. Log buffer configuration. Let's see. Store 16 entries, so entries 16. IP ARP inspection. You know when they get into like the logging that they're running out of things to sort of they're running out of content to sort of throw at you in the workbook. Oh, let's just do all these different log options, which you're never going to memorize unless you do it every day. Somewhat futile in my assessment anyway. Log buffer, logs, for interval 10. I mean, if you really don't, this is one of those things like if you really don't like yourself, or if you're spending a lot of time looking at ARP inspection logs, I'd have to wonder anyway what you're doing with your life. But hey, I could end up doing this myself on some special. This could be me. You never know. I think we're good here. So let's see. Now, when I did this on the viral image, switch image, I lost the ability to ping at all. Hey, that still works. Okay. That still works. Now, what if we change our IP address here? That's the validation. Show IP interview brief. This should cause it to fail. IP address 160.1.20.22. Ping 160.1.20.3. Ah, interesting. Oh, do I need to clear IP ARP? Clear ARP. Let's try it again. Yep, it looks like this is what happened to me on the viral image. It didn't work. Yeah, interesting. The feature's not working even on a real switch. And the only configuration I am missing IP. Oh, I know what I'm missing. All right, so this is I'm sorry, man. This is like poor. This is such this to me is amateur logic. Here's the problem. So guess what? We have not turned on IP ARP inspection. You would think it'd be implied by this right here. Or even this. But no, it's not. Clear ARP. I don't know that. And watch, it still won't work. Yeah, this is the same problem I had. So it appears that ARP inspection is only checking the DHCP snooping database. It's not checking static ARP entries. So what if I turn off DHCP snooping? Then I think what happens is it doesn't work at all. Let's see. Clear ARP. Okay, that works. Good. Now let's change the IP address. Clear ARP. It's still saying DHCP snooping deny, so let's see if it works. Okay, cool, that works. So what that means is that the lab is wrong in the workbook. The workbook lab is incorrect, because the workbook lab has you using DHCP snooping. So it looks like it's almost one or the other, although from what I've read, you should be able to use both. Either DHCP snooping or interesting, this client, that was my break signal. I'll be right back, folks. Ignored it long enough. And we're back. We've got about 40 minutes left on our rack rental. So let's change up the playlist here. I haven't used this in a while. Let's double check though. Yeah, workbook looks to be incorrect here. Clear ARP cache. Okay, so you can clear it. This is cool. I haven't really used. I've just always done clear ARP. But I guess you can type if you just like to type more. You can do clear ARP-cache also. Same command. It's probably a holdover from older code or something. Show logging. Again, invalid. Yeah, cool. All right, next one we want to try, I think has the same IP scheme. IP source guard. Yeah, this one did not work in viral. Did not work in viral. So in terms of this config, can we do copy run? No, we don't want that though. Clear, configure. Only works on a router, right? That's okay. I think we could let's just take this stuff out. Ugh. We'll do it the old-fashioned way because we're on real gear here. No IP ARP access list. Excuse me? Oh, I called the V20. No ARP access list. There is no such thing as an IP ARP access list, I guess. It is ARP. But you have to do IP ARP inspection command. But don't you dare use IP ARP access list. No, because that would be a little too consistent, right? No IP ARP inspection. Do show run ARP. I know you all probably think that sometimes I get very sarcastic and sometimes triggered by little things, and they are little things really in the but I tell you, when you've been labbing for 448 days, the little things they add up. So I do get triggered by, and this, for example, I used to know this key combination here. All right, what is it? Is it Alt Option? At the pause, count sometimes to 3. There's a trick I'm trying to do here that is different on the Mac than in VS Code. All right, this would have taken a lot less time. There we go. Okay. Cool. So we are now back to basically a clean switch. Let's go back to our IP source guard lab. I seem to recall this one was not so bad in terms of like, oh, let's find something to do for them to do in this lab. So let's put a bunch of like logging parameters in there. This one's not too bad in that way, I don't think. Stay with me, switch 2. Okay. Figure switch 2. Oh, they're gonna make me switch it around. All right, fine. We'll go now. We'll change it from 20 to 30. I wonder if they're doing that just to kind of annoy us. Like in the workbook, one lab we're going to do 30, and then the next lab will do 20, and the next lab will do 20. Do show IP interbrief. Interface VLAN 30. Well, we don't necessarily need, which is going to kind of screw up our config, unfortunately. Interface range, FA0 19, FA0 23. So these should be able to ping each other now. Oh, come on now. What's your problem? Switch to. There we go. Configure. Okay, switch 1 to prevent IP address spoofing on these interfaces. All right, this is another thing where we're supposed to ensure, want to prevent IP spoofing, ensure it works with dynamically learned addresses as well. So that means IPDHP snooping, IPDHP snooping, VLAN 30. Enforce layer 2 filtering for the MAC addresses corresponding to secured IP addresses. Wait, enforce layer 2 filtering for the MAC addresses. Corresponding to secured IP addresses at the same time. What kind of wording is that? Okay, anyway, so what we're going to do is we need static entries again. IP verify. Binding, yeah. Okay, IP source binding. And let's find out what we're looking at here. Show IP ARP. That's going to be this guy. VLAN 30. 160.1.30.2. I think that's right. Yeah. Interface. Now I think we have to do the VLAN here. No, we're talking about the source, so let's put it right on the interface. FA023. Okay, IP source binding. Let's just double check here. Show IP ARP. Yeah. Elian. This is one of these areas of security you don't touch very often, and you know you're going to be using question mark a lot. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm at peace with that recognition. Better than having to rely on looking it up. So we have our bindings. Now we have to tell the switch to use source card. And I think this is done on, well, we don't have, yeah, IP source. No, IP verify. Shoot, what is the command? We're gonna have to look it up. Hope everybody's Sunday is going well. You're just out there lurking. That's cool. I am streaming earlier than normal. Most of the peeps here in the channel like come on at night, particularly late at night. I'm kind of an unusual in terms of when I stream. Not your typical what you expect from network engineer, like late night, pots of coffee. I'm an early riser, so. Okay, that's not it. No, wait a second. Now this says user security. That's not what this is. This is data plane. Yesterday I was looking at user security. Okay, where would this, well, we're under switch. So that's right, this is a switch feature. So I sometimes forget. I'm always in iOS and in XOS software that I will forget sometimes with these features that, you know. This, by the way, is a 3560, I found out, is what they're using. $3560 24TS. Is it a C? Yeah. Well, just 3560. So if we look at configuration guides, what version? I think we're on 1502 SE, yeah. And sometimes it says IPSG. DHCP features and IP source guard. Okay. IP verify. Oh, you have to do it interface level. Okay. So interface. There is no global IP verify source. And yeah. IP source binding. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do with port security here. I'm going to say switch port security. And we'll do the same interface FA019, IP verify source or security, switch port security. All right. Show IP verify. There's not really anything else that we're verifying except the source, but you know what? We're going to make you type the word source. Interesting. So what we have here is on FA019. It says deny all. Why is that? All right, this is a little too... I see some inconsistencies here. I thought we configured these ports the same. Show run interface FA019. Oh, did I do the wrong... I did the wrong binding, didn't I? Show IP verify. Oh yeah, there's just sort of show run binding. What command was that? I did. That's the problem. Okay, so this, it's on me. Oh, this. And we're going to repeat this. Show IP verify. Logging is disabled. There is no... All right, we'll see. So let's just verify. Source verify here. Let's make sure our pings still work. Come on, you can do it. They're not working. Even though this is IP and Mac, the IP is 30.2. Mac, VLAN 30, we're good. How can we turn on logging? Debug, IP, verify, source, packet. All would appear to be right in the world. Okay, this is the same thing I saw on the viral image, I'm afraid. It's only inspecting through the DHCP bindings database. So let's see. Let's, just for grins, show run interface FA019. Well, I'm not going to go through all the trouble of setting up DHCP. But I almost guarantee you, if I turn off DHCP snooping, I'm going to look at the lab answer guide now. Switch mode, IP verify source port security, yes. DHCP snooping, IP source binding, yeah. So, watch this. If I turn off no IP DHCP snooping, we're not going to take a break yet because we'll take a break at noon when the stream ends and the lab time is over. Okay, we can ping, but here's the problem. So let's see. Show IP verify source. Look at that. It's inactive because there's no snooping. Yeah, so the workbook, it appears, is also wrong. Unless it is based on a different image. But according to this... Let's look at the guidelines. You can configure static only on non-routed ports. If you enter the IP source binding... When IP source guard with source IP is enabled on an interface, DHCP snooping must be enabled on the access VLAN for that interface. Okay, it must be enabled. If IP source guard is enabled, then you enable or disable, the switch might not properly filter traffic. DHCP snooping and port security must be enabled on the interface. You must also enter the IP DHCP snooping information option global command. When you configure IP source guard, smart logging, packets with a source address other than the specified address yeah, this is in global mode. Other than the specified address or an address learned by DHCP are denied. And the packet contents are sent to a NetFlow. Oh, that's just NetFlow. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Configuring IP source guard for static hosts. You must configure the IP device tracking maximum interface configuration command globally for IPSG for static host to work. This is not mentioned. Interesting. Okay. IP device tracking. There is no maximum. Turn on the IP host table and globally enable IP device tracking. You must configure. Interesting. So IP device tracking has to be enabled, and it has to be enabled on the interface. Interface FA023. Interesting. So let's say 1. Well, we'll do 2. Actually, interface range FA019, FA023. Show IP device track all. Aha. Now I wonder if it will work. Show IP verify source. So it says inactive because there's no snooping running. But this is the documentation. So it's saying, dude, no IP verify source. This is very inconsistent with what the code like that we're running here. This doesn't match. But I'd be curious to see if it works now. We got a little more time before our clock runs out. Okay, so that works, but okay, show run interface FA023. Okay. IP verify source port security. IP verify source tracking. Ah, interface range. IP verify source tracking. Show run interface FA019. So you can only do one or the other. You cannot do both. And if you want the tracking to work, you have to turn off the snooping option. And look at that. Filter type. Tracking. Wow, okay, so the workbook is like way off base. Show IP source binding. Okay, static type. Yeah, what did it say before? Filter type IP MAC. I don't see what's different. Is there anywhere I did show IP verify, show IP source binding? Whoa, that's going way back. Nope, I don't need to go back that far. So I wonder if we went back and turned on device tracking. I never typed the command before. It doesn't look like show IP source binding. Okay, that's all right. Total number of bytes. So now let's see if it actually works, if the security feature works. And I can no longer ping. How do I turn on logging? Debug IP verify. Should only take a moment. Let's try from switch 3. Show, let's do this. Do I have to bind it to a different type? It says static. IP MAC track. Let's see. Show run. Show IP verify source interface FA019. Logging is disabled. VLAN 30 IP address. Filter mode active. Show interface. How about this? Show port security interface FA019. Last source address VLAN 001A. Show, how about show IP device tracking all. Show IP device tracking interface FA019. Probe count 3, probe interval 30. Let's just shut down the interfaces. Made a number of changes. All right, and then we'll see what these logs tell us. IP source guard, at least it's not saying. Oh, it still had a latent, maybe? DHCP binding? Maybe that was interfering? Okay, now this might work. MAC binding is removed. Yeah, it's okay. It's working. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Now let's do let's change the IP. So despite the stale information in the workbook and somewhat ambiguous information, because this command is not here in global mode. Yeah, it says here, it states that oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't state that here. It states it up above. You must configure the IP device tracking maximum interface configuration command. Never mind. Globally. Well, that's confusing. Okay. That's a little, the wording there could have been done a little more. These are all, what I've concluded is that you're pretty much having to, most of the courseware that is available to us as network engineers is not written by educators. Most of it is written by engineers or programmers. And there's not much we can do about that. I mean, I don't know who their editors are, but that's why some of the writing, the quality of the writing sometimes for this material is what frustrates me a lot. Anyway, I digress. IP address 160.1.30.10. Hold on. Oh, FA019. I was doing this to see which interface on because I can never remember. 23. Yeah. Good thing I checked. So now this will no longer match. And if I do a clear it should block. And it does not. Man, I thought we had it. Why is it not blocking that? Show IP verify source. It recognizes the source address, but it doesn't match the binding. So I have a question for the universe here. Has anyone ever actually gotten this feature to work? That's my question. Because I have not, and these are on real switches. So if you've gotten this to work, Not using DHCP snooping. I have no doubt that this works with DHCP snooping. Well, I do have my doubts, but I'm not going to voice them. But the static bindings is all of what is considered here in these labs. And I have to wonder, like, did they... Last updated August 4th, 2014. All right, not forever ago. These switches are probably that older. They're fast Ethernet. So, I don't know, folks. We'll wrap it up there, though. And thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching this live or not, I hope you enjoyed it on YouTube. Drop me a line if you've ever gotten these features to work, whether that be IP source guard or DAI, without using DHCP snooping. Definitely let me know, and let me know what the configuration is, because I'm stumped. But I'm going to move on. We're going to move on. This afternoon, I'll be back again. This time, I'll be using the Azure Lab, and we'll be doing some ICMP stuff. I want to see what happens when this times out. Let's go over what will be covered this afternoon. Right now, though, I have to get some lunch and do some meal prep for this week for my keto stuff. But we've got controlling ICMP message rate, control CPP, control plane policing, iOS ACL selective IP option drop, and then generic TTL mechanism. We should be able to finish this up today and finish this section. Yes, finally. And then we'll be moving on in this month of June, system management. So should be good stuff. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in here once again to LAN Tamer Stream. I'll be posting on Discord when the next stream is going to happen. So, sending you out good bits to everyone, and we'll see you back here soon in the LAN Tamer Stream. Happy Sunday.